Good evening, everyone. I'll call the Marlborough City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday evening, March 27th, 2023. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have 13 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the special City Council meeting, March 13th, 2023.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion made and second to accept and place on file the minutes. Any comments on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The meeting minutes are filed 11-0. Agenda item number 2.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, March 13th, 2023.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion is made and second to accept and place on file the meeting minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just a minor typo on page 2 of the minutes. I believe it is Councilor Irish, who is the head of the Finance Committee, so that has to get fixed, so as discussed earlier.
Motion is made and second to amend the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Not in favor. The minutes are approved 11-0. Agenda item number 3.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the application for a special permit from Cornerstone Engineering on behalf of Trombetta Family Limited Partnership to allow the use of an existing landscape contractor yard within the LI district to be located at 655 Farm Road, order number 23-100, 8824.
Okay, this public hearing we've taken up in 4 stages. The first being the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. The second, questions from the public. The third, public speaking in opposition. And finally, fourth, questions from the city councilors. So we'll open the first part of the public hearing, which is the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, I'm Vito Colonna with Cornerstone Engineering, and we're here on behalf of the applicant, and Charles Trombetta is in the back of the room tonight. And so we're here for 655 Farm Road. Most of you know it as Trombetta's Farm. This is the locus of the property. It's in the center, right in there. And most of you know that up front, it's a mixed use. It's the seasonal farm stand with the mini golf and ice cream shop up front. But some of you might not know, in the back portion of the property, as you can see in the rear half, it's historically been used as a landscape contractor's yard. And, oh, sorry. There we go. Back one. All right. And so that's really what we're here for tonight, is to bring that historic use into compliance with the current bylaws. So they are within the LI zone district, and there was that provision a couple years back that zoning changed. And they had 9 months to submit a site plan and then 24 months to get approvals. And while they did submit the site plan, they did not finish out that site plan approval process. Certain circumstances came up and just weren't able to complete that process. So that's why we're here before you tonight, to kind of get that formalized and permit that existing use that had been going on in the rear portion of the property. This is just the existing conditions site plan, just to kind of give some reference. The front shaded area, that's the existing building with all the parking around it. And then the rear, through there, that's where the existing contractor storage area is. And the proposed site plan is very similar to the existing, except we've made a lot of kind of smaller modifications to the plan based on a lot of the input we've gotten from preliminary meetings with Site Plan Review Committee. And most of those have related to mitigating impacts to abutting properties. So a lot of the key ones we've done is pulled some of that pavement or existing gravel away from the abutting properties, specifically down towards the south end. If I go back to the original screen, you can see there's some residential properties on the south side of this parcel down there. And that's really where the focus of the mitigation was meant to affect. They already do have a lot of landscaping around the edges, but we supplemented that down right through here with a large amount of landscaping. Most of it's arborvitaes that were proposed with some deciduous trees, kind of offset and some of that use down in that area. So we pulled that in, defined more of those use areas. Fire was concerned about the kind of organization out there. So we've really defined how those use areas get defined, how they get leased out. Each one would have its own trailer with a number on it so that it would get, you know whose stuff belonged to whose. You'd be able to regulate what's inside the trailers. Through their lease agreements, they're not allowed to keep any pesticides, chemicals, fuels, anything that'd be a hazardous material, and worst case scenario, there were ever a fire. Fire department was concerned of what could be stored in those trailers. So it's really, that's the process we've been going through so far, is to define those areas, keep everything safe, organized for what fire needs, and then also mitigate for some of the abutters. We've also added some landscaping along the backside, even though it's a vacant piece. Site Plan Review Committee thought it would be helpful to define that back border. In case something ever were to happen, you plant it now, so in the future that landscaping would be larger and mature. Just planning for the future. And then just going through some of the practical sense of the operations. It's a 7 to 7, Monday through Saturday. That's the typical hours. The only exception to that would be some of the tenants do plow snow. They plow actually some of them for the city itself and some for the state. So during those snow events, there may be some off hours access to the site. But your typical day-to-day would be 7 to 7, Monday through Saturday. The traffic pattern, what they do is, and it's in their lease agreements, would be to segregate their traffic. So all of the tenants in contractor yard areas would come in through the southern entrance, while all of your those people going to the ice cream stand and the mini golf come in through the northern entrance where they park up in the top. So you're kind of keeping those two uses separate. And this access down here is sufficient to get the trucks in and out. And they aren't large trucks, they're pickup trucks and stuff like that. There aren't large deliveries or anything like that that requires a tractor-trailer type things. It's more of just your daily contractors and their trucks. The surfacing materials, right now it's out there, it's mostly paved as far as the access roads go, and then around the actual lease areas would be a recycled asphalt, just to keep the dust down, keep it stabilized, similar to other contractor yards in the area. And then as far as site lighting, no additional lighting has been proposed. Right now there's site lighting, but it's centrally located and it's all in motion sensors, just for security at night. It's not on a timer, so it isn't on all night. It just goes on if somebody were to go back there. And it's all centrally located. The lights are actually all in the middle right there, and they're all down lighting. So it isn't anything that glares out to the sides. And no additional light is going to be proposed on the edges or anything like that would impact any of the abutters. I think that was our presentation. I will hand it back over.
All right, thanks, Vito. Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Please come up to the microphone right over here.
Hi, Mike Casaselli. I live at 15 Grant Court. I am a small contractor, carpentry, basically in Marlborough, and I am one of the contractors that lease a place down there. It's been very convenient. It'd be sorely missed if it's a resource that's taken away. So I fully support the project.
Thank you, Mike. Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Yep. Paul?
Hey, I'm Paul DiTullio, 86 Boyven Drive in Marlborough. I'd just like to speak in favor of this. And Trombetti's family has always been outstanding in this city, and I know they wouldn't cause any harm doing what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, sir.
I'm Steve Almeida, 38 Cullinane Drive, Marlborough. I am one of the contractors that use that facility down there, and it's very convenient for us. I am a small contractor, pickup truck, and it's very convenient. I also plow for the city of Marlborough, which it makes it easy to get right out on the route, and I'm in favor of it.
Thank you, Steve. Any other members of the public speak in favor? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Adam Dominguez. I reside at 60 Applewood Drive. I am in favor of Trombetti's site plan application. The landscape contractor section of Trombetti's property is a much-needed addition. It is impossible to find storage for small landscapers and contractors here in the city of Marlborough.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Yes, sir.
Henry Pacific, 188 Glen Street, Marlborough, retired plumbing inspector for the city, also retired plumbing contractor for many years. Known the Trombetti family pretty much all my life. Very respectable family, and they do what's good for the family and for the city. They've cared about the city that they lived in for a long time, and it's time for them to do something back for them within the law. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Henry. Any other members of the public speak in favor? Gina?
My name is Gina DiMatteo. I live at 721 Farm Road, and I also have a contractor storage yard. I would like to speak in favor. I think many good things have been said about Chubb's family, and I know we put a lot of hard work into getting here and having zoning that allows for our small businesses, to, like Mike, that are supported, and I just simply like to speak in favor. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina. Any other members of the public speaking in favor? And you are?
I'm Charlie Trombetta. Can I speak in favor?
Absolutely, Mr. Trombetta.
Thank you. I live at 42 Whispering Brook here in Marlborough. I've been renting to contractors for over 30 years. Most of the contractors that I rent to are residents of Marlborough. Their kids are in the school system. They do mostly service-oriented jobs. They're the ones that plow your driveway, mow your lawn, paint your house inside and out, and do all the things that we don't want to do. We try to keep a tight business. We have rules for them, what they can have, what they can't have, and it's like a big family. So I'd like to see it continue, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlie. Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the City Council? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair. I just have really one question. I completely support this in general, but is there going to be more or less lots for contractors with this design versus what's there currently?
It would actually end up being the same. We just reorganized everything and consolidated. We do have less pavement and less surface area, but kind of just reorganized to be more efficient, basically.
Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Any other questions? Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you so much for the presentation and the public comments. I also don't see any issue with this. I know it's already in use and there hasn't been a detrimental impact. I did have a couple questions. One particularly, if you could maybe state how many contractors or use are in the back, and if that constantly rotates. It seems like there's a lot of long-term use, which is great, and I was just wondering if you could speak to that.
Sure. Right now there's 17 shown out there. They do rotate, and it could change the number based on, sometimes they'd want to rent 2 spaces if they have more use than they can fit in one spot. But I wouldn't see getting more than that, because we've kind of get that space as big as it can get, and then if you want 2, you can rent 2. But right now there's 17 shown. Okay, thank you. And then I see the traffic pattern. There is no, I guess this is similar to where it would be before, that they'd still be exiting and entering in the same spaces as before. Is that correct? That's right. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perlman. Anyone else? Any other questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Seeing none, I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing, and it is in Urban Affairs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time stops. Agenda item number 4.
Communication from Councilors Ossing and Wagner regarding municipal aggregation, March 2023 update.
Councilor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to...
Hey, hang on, excuse me. Hey, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Sorry, Councilor Wagner.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to provide a few fourth quarter updates. This is regarding the municipal aggregation program that we have. Marlborough residential electricity users participating in the municipal aggregation program have saved over $3.8 million in the fourth quarter of 2022. $3.8 million. It's the largest quarterly savings ever. The first quarter of 2023 savings to the residents is estimated to be over $4.9 million. The 2022 savings to the residents altogether was over $6 million. The Inspire contract has saved Marlborough residential electricity users participating in the program over $9.8 million since the inception of the program in 2019, November of 2019. Municipal aggregation program has saved all users over $18.6 million since its inception in 2007. And the municipal aggregation program continues to save Marlborough residents money on their electricity bills. So all good information to share with you all, and I move that we accept and place the report on file.
Motion made and seconded to place the correspondence on file. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The correspondence is filed 11-0. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $2 million from the MassWorks Infrastructure Program awarded to the Department of Public Works to fund roadway improvements on Cedar Hill Street.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The grant is approved, 11-0. Agenda item number 6.
Application for renewal of junk dealer second-hand dealer license from Roman Kimyagorov, DBA Arthur & Son Shoe Repair, 107 Main Street.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, please refer this to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the Public Services Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's referred to Public Service, 11-0. Agenda item 7.
Application for renewal of a junk dealer second-hand dealer license from Antoine Bittard, DBA Hanush Jewelers, 601 Donald J. Lynch Boulevard.
Councilor Landers.
Again, thank you, Mr. President. Please refer this to the Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is referred to Public Service, 11-0. Agenda item number 8.
Application for renewal of a junk dealer second-hand dealer license from Best Buy Stores LP number 820, DBA Best Buy at 769 Donald J. Lynch Boulevard.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you again, Mr. President. Please refer this to the Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Is referred to Public Service, 0. Agenda item number 8.
Application for renewal of a junk dealer second-hand dealer's license from Gerald Dumas, DBA Dumas & Sons Second-Hand Store, 65 Mechanic Street.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll recuse myself from this vote.
Let the record reflect that Councilor Dumas will not be participating in this item. Councilor Landers.
And thank you, Mr. President. Please refer to Public Services Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is referred to Public Service, 10-0 with 1 abstain. Agenda item number 10. 9? 10.
Communication from the Mass Department of Public Utilities regarding a petition of Massachusetts Electric and Nantucket Electric, DBA National Grid, for approval of their 2023 energy efficiency reconciling factors for effect May 1st, 2023.
Councilor Brown.
Move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication from National Grid. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is filed, 11-0. Agenda item 11.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President, thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed, 11-0. Agenda item number 12.
Claims.
Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer the claims to the legal department.
Motion made and seconded to refer the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The claims are going to legal, 11-0. Reports of committees. Someone's been busy. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. The City Council Urban Affairs Committee has met twice since our last meeting. I will report out the first meeting of Wednesday, March 15th, excuse me, where we took up order number 22-108-768, the application for a special permit from Stephen Copper on behalf of Alliance Health and Human Services to renovate 10,490 square feet of an existing building to provide 12 additional rest home beds at 720 Boston Post Road East within the Wayside Zoning District. So we had a public hearing. No one spoke in favor or opposed. There were really no questions. Unfortunately, this work has been done already, and then it was decided that we actually needed a special permit because it was a pre-existing non-conforming site. Councilor Navin moved to recommend approving the grant of a special permit to expand the pre-existing non-conforming convalescent nursing home use together with the decision as amended. Motion was seconded and the vote carried 5-0. I am asking a suspension this evening so this can be referred to the solicitor to be put in proper form for our next meeting on April 10th.
Would you like to take that up now?
Sure.
Request for suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 11-0. Councilor Roby.
So I would like to have the this grant of a special permit referred to the solicitor to be put in proper form.
Motion's made and seconded to refer the special permit to the solicitor to be placed in proper format. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? It is going to the solicitor to be put in proper format. 11-0. Councilor Roby.
Thank you. The second meeting was on Thursday, March 23rd at 7:30. We took up order number 22-100-8649, the application for site plan review from Attorney Falk on behalf of JW Capital Partners, LLC for a mixed-use project at 57 Main Street in the Marlborough Village zoning district. There's a lot, again, on this report. I'm going to highlight some points. The meeting was called to give the applicant an opportunity to further detail its transportation study and councilors to ask questions and for Procopio to provide information on sites it has developed in similar size where less parking was provided with minimal impact. The applicant provided a document with information on their projects in Lynn with comparable sites in Haverhill and Everett, as well as a new site plan approval with conditions document that included the latest set of plans revised March 22nd, 2023, and a landscape plan revised October 24th, 2022, an amendment to the green design on the permit or on the site plan, adding in B, applicant shall use best effort to provide all electric utilities in the non-residential portion of the project, amending G1, payment in lieu of parking, to list the parking spaces provided at 28, which changes the number to have payment in lieu of to 60 and the amount to be paid in lieu if a car share service was provided to be $520,000, and amending G2 off-site parking to delete options to be considered may include amending the regulation to allow for sticker system or other methods to achieve parking needs. I've got too many pieces of paper and not the ones that I need. The chair suggested that language be included to specify where the funds from the payment in lieu will go to ensure the proper handling of the funds as specified in the zoning ordinance. It was agreed to ask the solicitor to add the following language to the site plan decision or something similar, that prior to final certificate of occupancy, the payment of $520,000 be deposited into a fund called the City of Marlborough Downtown Parking Account. Councilor Navin moved to recommend to deny the site plan for JW Capital Partners, LLC as amended. The chair offered a second to the motion to recommend denial. The chair stated the vote. Those in favor of recommending denial of site plan as amended were Councilor Navin and Roby. Those not in favor of recommendation to deny were Councilors Doucette, Landers, and Wagner. The recommendation to deny the site plan as amended did not carry 2-3. Councilor Wagner moved to approve the site plan for JW Capital Partners, LLC as amended to include the establishment of the City of Marlborough Downtown Parking Account. Councilor Doucette seconded. The chair called the vote. Voting in favor of the motion to recommend approval were Councilors Landers, Doucette, and Wagner, and those voting not in favor of recommendation to vote were Councilors Navin and Roby. The recommendation as amended carried 3-2. The chair stated that with one abstention, there will be 10 members voting with 6 votes needed for approval. I'm reporting this out tonight, asking for a suspension again so that the solicitor can put this in proper form to be voted on April 10th.
Okay, so on the suspension of the rules, all those in favor of the suspension? Suspension is approved, 11-0. Councilor Dumas?
I just need to recuse myself from the vote. Thank you.
Let the record reflect Councilor Dumas will not be participating in the voting on this particular item. Councilor Roby?
So move to refer this to the solicitor to be put in proper form for the April 10th meeting.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the solicitor to be put in proper format for April 10th meeting. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Orm?
You know how votes go, denying, not denying, but just so the general public knows, I just want to make sure they realize the vote for this right now is just to refer it to the city solicitor.
That is correct.
It's not the vote, the final vote.
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, that is correct. So this is a vote to send this item to the city solicitor to put in proper format so we can vote on it at the next meeting. Any discussion on the motion to refer to the solicitor? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is going to the solicitor with 10 in favor, 1 abstain.
And then, Mr. President, I do have one more request for suspension. I believe the council's was sent the email that I had asked to be sent out, another suspension of the rules.
Councilor Roby's requested a suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 11-0. Councilor Roby.
So the minutes of the March 13th, 2023 council meeting were approved tonight. Included in the minutes was a 5-0 vote of the committee to request the solicitor to put in order for further amendments to Chapter 650. At the request of the solicitor, I move that the City Council supports the vote of the Urban Affairs Committee to have the solicitor create an order that amends Chapter 650 regarding the affordability, in parentheses, the percentage of the area median income levels and corresponding rent using the Housing and Urban Development Metropolitan Fair Market rents that include Marlborough.
Councilors, motion has been made and seconded to refer the recommendation of the Urban Affairs Committee to the solicitor to be, send us the proper language so that we can follow the ordinance change process. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Is this something that needs to be advertised with the update?
We will when we get the proper format from the solicitor. In other words,
Okay.
we don't have the languages, so we're asking the
Correct.
solicitor to put it in proper format for the council to look at, and if the council then deems it appropriate, I'm sure the Urban Affairs Chair will make a motion to advertise and we'll set a public hearing.
Okay,
for that.
I'm just trying
You're
to
a
walk
step
through the
ahead.
process so
Yep.
understand what's going on.
Yep.
But thank you for that.
Very good. No, you're good. Anyone else? On the motion, to refer to the solicitor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is going to the solicitor, 11-0. Item 13.
Order number 23-100-8807, a communication from Mayor Vigent requesting an increase in the spending limit for the Public Safety Revolving Fund for the remainder of fiscal year 2023 from $120,000 to $203,000. Recommendation of the Finance Committee is to approve.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the recommendation of committee to approve, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the recommendation of the Finance Committee. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved, 11-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:28. Good evening, everyone. Have a great